Hello and welcome to Jep's Outdoor Adventures. I'm your host Jep. Today we're going to be doing a review of these Muckmaster Muck boots from Muck Boot Company. I have a feeling we're going to say the word muck and muck boot a lot in this video. So anyway guys, if you want to find out more, don't go away. Okay guys, so these are the Muckmaster Muck boots from Muck Boot Company. I got these for hunting. I needed a better pair of hunting boots. Where we go hunting, the conditions will really vary from week to week. So getting a good pair of boots that can handle anything that nature can throw at you is a very good idea. Last year I only had a cheap pair of hunting boots and those did not go very well. They were not waterproof like the brand said they would be. They were terrible quality, it was just really bad. So I really wanted to invest in some good hunting boots. Now we got these at North 40 Outfitters. So we got these for about 90 bucks if I remember correctly. It's like $89.95 or something like that. So they're not cheap, but also I found with boots, you really got to invest in them. Short-term investments are great, but over time you're going to be spending a lot more money on short-term boots than you will on just a couple pairs of long-term use, high-quality boots. You're just going to spend a lot more money. All that money's going to go down the drain. You're going to be wasting a lot of materials, resources. It's just, I'd rather spend a good bit of money to get high quality than to spend half that amount or a quarter of that amount on something that ain't going to last more than a couple weeks, or months, or however it works out. So me, mom, and dad all got a pair of these Muck boots, Muckmasters here. First time dealing with Muck Boot Company, and I have to say I really like them. The quality is very good. I usually wear a size 13 shoe, but I got size 14 boots because I know that by next time hunting season I'm going to be wearing size 14s. That's just how it works for me. I'm growing. And so having a pair of boots that I will grow into instead of getting a pair that will fit me right now is a very important thing I found. It also helps a lot because when hunting, I wear not one pair of socks, but two. I wear my usual athletic socks, like Puma socks, you name it. And then I wear a pair of wool socks over top. And then we kind of put a little bit of electrical tape right around the very top at the socks and then around the heel. And then they stay in place just fine. So having something that gives you a little bit of wiggle room is very important. Helps you not sweat to death, especially when wearing thicker socks. It gives a little bit of breathing space, helps your feet breathe a bit, which is very important. Speaking of, my thoughts on these boots are that they're really great. When it's cold out, my feet have stayed warm. When it's hot out, my feet are not too hot. They stay fairly cool, which is important. Now, part of that's just because I got a size large, again, so I have breathing space. My feet can breathe. But another part of it is just because they're well made. They are definitely waterproof. This time of year, the snow is starting to melt, which means it's kind of mucky. It's wet, it's slush, it's just not good weather if you're not wearing proper shoes. So having a good pair of boots to just throw on and be able to go out and do your chores is important. You don't want to wear a pair of boots that aren't meant for the weather and get them all dirty or have your feet get soaked to the bone. Not good. So having a good pair of muck boots I found is important, and these are excellent. They're very warm. The neoprene rubber is nice. It stretches a little bit. It has a little bit of a give to it. So it fits around my leg or pants I'm wearing, which is very nice. It's not a really hard rubber where it slaps against your calf. It moves with you, which is nice. That's the problem I've had with rubber boots in the past that aren't very expensive, is that it's just hard rubber all the way up. And so it goes like this and it slaps against your calf while you're walking, which is very irritating. So having something that kind of moves with you is great. The hard rubber on the boot here is nice and rigid. It's tough. There's an extra layer right back here along the very back of your foot and leg, which is nice. It's very strong. Also along the very front of the ridge of your foot here and your leg. So you got a nice amount of rigidity. Whatever that word is. Anyway, it's nice and rigid. Helps protect your foot. If you're walking through brush, you hit your leg, you're not going to stump your toe very easily. This is nice and hard, especially up towards the toe, which is important for me. I found that when out in the pasture with the goats, they like to stand on my feet, and a few of them are quite big, and they don't care. So having something that kind of gives your foot a little bit of protection is very important. The sole here is really nice and aggressive. It gives you really good grip, even when it's really slick out. I like it a lot, but it's not so hard that it makes a lot of noise as you're walking. It kind of absorbs a little bit of the noise. But I like that a lot. It's very strong. It's very rigid. That's the other problem with the hunting boots I've worn in the past, especially last year, is they were really cheap. They were from Walmart, barely $13. I mean, they're just bad boots. Anyway, I could feel each and every rock, each and every stick, everything I was stepping on, because the sole was very thin, and it was very flexible rubber. So having something that's harder rubber that actually protects your foot is nice. I don't feel every little rock and pebble that I'm stepping on, which is great. It was really annoying. You get used to it, but it's just nice to have something like this that's actually comfortable to wear. Speaking of the sole on the inside, they say has 2 millimeter thick thermal foam underlay added to the instep area for additional warmth. Well, whatever the case is, it's very comfortable. It has a little bit of give to it. It fits well. It molded to my foot very nicely. It's a very important thing to wear your boots for a good 3 weeks before you go out hunting. Actually get them molded to your foot. Get comfortable with them, get your foot adjusted to a different pair of boots. So that's what I did, and the entire time while hunting, my foot was very comfortable, except for when we're walking miles a day, and of course my foot is going to feel a little bit achy, but for the most part it was just fine. And adding 2 pairs of socks does help, but a large part of that comfort was from the boots. They were very comfortable to wear. I didn't sweat very much while wearing them, which helped a lot too. My feet stayed very, very dry and very warm. And when you're out in cold weather, that's very important. Also, the thing I like is the rubber goes up quite high on the boot, which is important in the sense that last year, when I say last year, I mean 2018. I'm not talking about 2019. I'm still getting adjusted to the whole 2020 deal. Anyway, it was very wet out. It would snow and then it would start to melt. Snow melt, snow melt, snow melt, and it would never stay cold enough for the snow to just stay. So as I was walking through the brush, there'd be a lot of dew, it would be really wet, and I'd not realize it, and I'd step onto a certain spot, and then whoop, my foot would go in a little bit because there was a puddle there. I wasn't really looking where I was going. My foot would get soaked. It's nice to have something like this that's actually waterproof, and it goes up high enough where it not just protects my leg, but it also keeps my foot dry. And the neoprene rubber is also waterproof, so it does stop at a certain point, again, to help it move with your calf and your leg. It's nice, it's comfortable, it's very well built, and for the price, you really can't go wrong. I know there's not a lot to really talk about when it comes to boots, but trust me, if you want a good pair of boots, something you're going to be wearing every day, out in the pasture, out in the farm, out hunting, get a pair of these boots. They are awesome. Now, for some reason, ours are brown, which I like the look of, but on the website for Muck Boot Company, they show them as being black. So black neoprene, black rubber, I honestly don't know why, if they updated it. I honestly don't know if the brown here is discontinued and they're going to black now, or if it's the opposite. But whatever the case is, these are really, really great. They go up high enough on my calf to protect my leg against, when walking through brush, sometimes there's thorns and briars. You can't necessarily rely on your pants being able to stop those. So having that extra layer of protection, stop any thorns or anything like that is important. Some places where we've gone hunting, there are tons of thorns everywhere. And they're just at the right level to really injure you. So having shoes or boots that go up high enough on your leg to protect you is very important. Again, really high quality. They work well, and I'm looking forward to doing a long-term review on them come next year, hunting season time. See how well they've held up, and I know they will. I mean, they're great. So anyway, guys, not a very long review, but I hope you guys liked it. Please hit that like button and that subscribe button, as well as that bell icon, so you'll be notified every time I come out with a new outdoor themed video. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye. So, we got a pair of Muck boots. All three of us, me, Mom, Dad. My little brother doesn't have a pair. That's not what I meant. The brownish red here, the brown here is discontinued. I honestly don't have any real worries or suspicions, suspicions. I can't speak today, guys. And your leg, so you got a nice amount of rigidity, whatever that word is. Anyway.